Hello, viewers, and welcome back to the Darkest Dungeon. Well, not actually to the darkest, because it's not. It's not here. But welcome back to the ruins. This beat up old house. So we're gonna take our new guys into battle here. Let's see exactly what we got. We got a guy who's pretty good at fighting from the front. A highwayman who's very similar to our other highwayman. He does have this really cool point-blank shot attack that only works when he's in the front, and when he uses it, it will move him back a space. So we're going to put him in the front of the party so that he can do that at the beginning of every battle. But really, probably Mental will... Well... Actually, maybe we want to put this guy in the second slot, because if he goes into beast mode, we want him to be in one of the first two. Can you fight okay from the third? Yeah, his melee attack works from the third slot. Yes, in fact. Okay. He's going to fight from the third slot. We're going to put the new class in here. And Bry, the occultist, in the back. Occultists are super cool. They're one of my favorite classes in the game. And you'll see why quickly. So, this time we have an option. A couple of different types of missions. Let's do a longer one. So, you can see, the mission we went on last time had campfire times 0. It's a short mission. But we're going to go on a longer mission this time. And what that means is that during the middle of the mission, we'll have to stay the night in the dungeon. And the camp interface is pretty cool. Ooh. We want this. You guys have not seen a Houndmaster yet, unless you play the game yourself. And you're just gonna have to trust me. We really want this trinket. Okay, so an apprentice level mission to explore 90% of the rooms in this part of the ruins. Sounds good. Yep, so every time you go on a quest that involves camping, the game will give you some firewood to use to make your camp. We're going to go full stack of torches, 2 big stacks of food. That's interesting. The game won't even let you buy more than 2 stacks of food now. The limit to the supplies is new. You used to be able to just bring as much as you wanted. There are definitely single camp missions where I would want to bring 3 stacks of food, so that's an interesting restriction. That'll breed some differences in the way the game is played. We're going to go like this. I like to bring 1 shovel for each, 1 additional shovel for each campfire thing you have, because it just means the dungeons are larger and you're likely to run into more rubble blockages. And you really, really do not want to run into one of those without a shovel. Alright, I think we're good. So there's an interesting tension between preparedness and making money. First of all, you're spending money to buy your supplies, obviously. And supplies you bring back with you get sold back to the shopkeeper, but at a very significant markdown. And secondly, we'll probably see it on this mission. It's very easy to run out of inventory space entirely. To just have too much treasure and to have to start jettisoning supplies, and in that case you just completely wasted the gold used to buy them.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
Alright, so this is not a great layout. Obviously, we're going to have to do quite a lot of backtracking. But let's get started. Nothing for it, so we'll just have to go. Rubble right away. Jeez. Well, let's hit it.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
I was actually considering going back and just taking this route and maybe leaving this room unexplored. We only have to explore 90% of the rooms, and the game rounds down as to the number you have to explore, so... Alright, Harriet. Harriet. Strange. Oh, that sounds bad. It's obsessed with food. And also alcohol. Well, this guy is, but he has plus 2 speed and plus 10% max HP. This guy's a bit of a character. Actually, we should have a quick look at everybody's traits. Really, does that matter? Oh, in human form, his attacks are ranged, and in beast form, they're melee. Okay, so a very small damage penalty that's honestly probably not even worth worrying about. This guy gets better stress reduction while camping, that's nice, but he's obsessed with cleanliness. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm sure it will turn out to be a real kick in the ass. And this guy's obsessed with sainthood. We get a lot of these obsessions, a lot of these traits that make people interact with objects without me telling them to interact with objects. These are my least favorite kind of negative traits. And once we get access to the building that allows you to remove traits, we will be removing some of those. Uneventful so far. Interacting with books is really a pretty mixed bag, but I like to do it early in the dungeon because sometimes you can get maps, and early in the dungeon it often doesn't hurt too much to take a sudden stress hit. Hey, free food. Alright, so it may seem like I did not bring a lot of torches considering the number of rooms we're going to have to go to, but you'll see why when we make camp. Alright, so Bry, show him what you can do. But yeah, Bry has a direct line to some kind of horrible Chthonian monster. Ugh. 58 stress before he's even gotten a single turn in combat. So this is a relatively high damage stun. Most stunning moves have a damage penalty on them. This does a weak blight on the middle two of the enemy party. This is a self-heal. And if he goes into beast mode, he does a bunch of oh, but transforming stresses out the other heroes. That's interesting. Let's try out this beast bile. Oh, what a super gross thing to do. I mean, I guess it's right there in the name, but still, ugh. Alright, you can see that point-blank shot is really quite powerful. Alright, guy, do something cool. Yeah, finish him. Let's get rid of that thing before it can spill its gross cup on us. Is it acid? Is it supposed to be acid in the cup? Because, like, listen to the sound it makes. Oh my god, lay off. So from the front, all he can do is stress heal himself. Does this only affect him? Yeah, it looks like it only affects him. We could beast out. I'm a little concerned about beasting out when this guy's stress is already so high, though. Let's just do this. I'm going to try to resist the urge to drive my dude insane. Alright, he's injured, so we're going to heal him. Not that he really needs the healing right now, but occultists have a reasonable crit chance, and if you critically heal someone, it lowers their stress. Okay, well, it healed him to full. You may have noticed that the occultist's heal is extremely powerful. You can heal up to 10 hit points at a single cast, but it has a chance to make the target bleed for 3 damage. It's still a very high average heal amount. It's a very powerful ability. So you can see this monster has protection. He has 25% protection, which just means all damage dealt to him is reduced by 25%, which sadly makes us unlikely to kill him with the AoE attack. I think we're just going to go for it with the sword. I'd really like him to be dead. Those shield guys have a powerful stun that I'd really like to not have to deal with. Unfortunately, this bounty hunter does not have great options for attacking the back row. This attack is mostly for the purposes of making people bleed. And skeletons don't bleed so well, so we're just going to crush this guy.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Okay, sadly, that did not give any stress relief to the highwayman. When you get a critical attack... Oh, God. Couldn't dodge? Why not dodge? 96 stress at the end of the first combat. Jeez. Oh, we might be in trouble, boys. This is what I'm trying to express to you. Crit heal. No crit heal. Alright, we'll get a kill. That'll help you a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Confidence surges a whole 3 points. Look at all that surging it's doing. You can see everybody else actually has had their stress go down a bit since, well, not this guy, but these two have both lost quite a bit of stress since the beginning of the dungeon. Stress fluctuates. Getting critical hits and getting killing blows, are both helpful. Wow, 600 gold, that's okay. Let's keep going. Wow, so we're out of shovels already, huh? I have a pretty bad feeling about that. You know what? Let's not even mess with the books. This is like really important. This is something I think is really important to maybe a lot of people. It's unintuitive. You don't necessarily want to interact with every object you encounter in the dungeon. Sometimes if you can't guarantee a positive outcome, it's better just to leave it alone entirely. And the fact that that's true is one of the reasons that those compulsion to touch things traits are a real bummer. Yeah, let's eat some food. I didn't want to make camp yet, but we may have to make camp soon. Camp will give us the ability to lower Dismas's, or not Dismas, this is Harriet. Harriet's stress. We'll see what we're at light-wise when we get back to the fork. So you can see our light decreases a lot more slowly when we're walking through already explored territory. Presumably, we can move faster. We don't have to be as careful. We're not scouting things out anymore. We are going to cut this way. Hey, that looks like a torch. Free torch. We're going to go ahead and use that right away. Ugh.
Ambushed by foul invention.
19 stress. Well, at least it wasn't Harriet that stepped in that. Do I want to torch again? No, I'm not going to torch again. Okay, well. What do I want to do here? I think, honestly, we could use... His only really damaging attack is only going to hit one person. It hits the 2 back rows. And since there's nobody in the 4th row, it's only going to hit one person. He has another attack that lowers the damage dealt by enemies. He has his heal, and then he has a pull that will allow us to rearrange the enemy party. I think we're going to pull the cultist acolyte forward in the hopes that she can't do her incantation thing from the front row. I don't know whether she can or not.
Masterfully executed.
Oh, it gives stress release to everybody except for Harriet. That's fantastic. Well, he might well be able to get this kill.
As the fiend falls, a faint
Really? He didn't get any stress relief for that? The game is conspiring to make him break. We're going to do Absolution again. Just hit stuff as hard as we can. That really is doing quite a bit of damage. Alright, he's bleeding. You don't take stress damage just for being hit, although you do take a significant amount of stress damage if you get critted. We're gonna Just keep throwing heals around. Okay. So the bleed happened, but after all the bleed damage, it's still going to be a significantly positive change in what is his name? Fitzalan's health. So, okay, he's dead. Again, we're just gonna have Fitzalan heal himself. I'd really like to try the beast mode thing out, but I'm not gonna send Harriet over the edge to do it. Alright, good dodge. This weakening curse, sadly, may not do enough damage to be lethal. How silly is that? So we're just gonna heal Harriet again, just fishing for the crit. He certainly didn't actually need the 2 points of healing. Ooh, he gets a crit. Nice. 7 stress off. And we found quite a bit of free food so far. Okay. I know for a fact that holy water used on a decorative urn. Wow. 1,000 gold. And 2 onyxes that are worth 500 each, so another 1,000 gold. That's wonderful. That is a wonderful amount of money. The game would like us to know how the torch works. I've not let it fall low enough to trigger the dialogue prior to this. Alright, as much as I don't like doing it with so much dungeon left, I think we're going to camp now. I'm going to stop pushing my luck with Harriet's stress. So, let's employ the firewood.
A spark without kindling is a goal without hope.
Yep, so meal phase and skill phase. Meal phase first. If you eat a normal amount of food, everybody gains some health. If you eat a small amount of food, nothing happens. If people starve, obviously that's real bad. It's as bad as starving on a hunger prompt. But if you decide to eat twice as much food as people need, you can get some stress healing and a significant amount of health. Obviously, we're going to do that. So what's that got him down to now? 79. And now you have the skill phase. You have 12 time units, and everybody has some skills they can use. So it looks like we've got a lot of stress reduction. This will give him 4 speed until next camp, or until the end of the mission. So give him a bunch of resistances. We've got a significant buff to gun-based skills. Well, that looks very appropriate for this situation. So, a little gallows humor. Mantel didn't think that was a very funny joke. But whatever, it got his stress all the way up to 14. Who cares? He's got a surprise buff and a damage buff versus large monsters. I don't think we're going to be fighting any large monsters here. It's interesting that abandoning hope reduces his stress. He's a bit of a fatalist. And he can cast a damage increasing buff. Well, I think what we're going to do is really lay on the stress reduction. Yeah, very encouraging. Honestly, I don't think that's that encouraging. I'd be a little worried. Okay. That was sort of positive. Okay. We don't have anything useful that only costs 1 time unit, so I guess we're done. But we got his stress all the way down to 24. That's pretty good. And everybody's back at full health, and most of the other people are basically stress-free. Alright. Everybody cross your fingers. That's right. I'm asking you to cross your fingers so that something won't happen that already occurred hours or even days before you did it. But just go ahead and cross your fingers. Yeah, everybody seems to be in good spirits.
The match is
Okay.
a blazing star is born.
Good luck for us, and we're going to remember to put the highwayman back in front so that he can point blank somebody. Sometimes when you hit that rest button, you get ambushed in the night by terrible monsters in the darkness. And sometimes that can go really, really badly. Abomination. Touch stuff. I'm pretty sure crates can't be trapped, but just in case, you know. Ow. He's actually doing remarkably well on stress, considering how much stress he's actually gained over the course of the dungeon. And that thing I forgot to mention. When you camp, at the end of the camp, your light is restored to 100 no matter what it was beforehand. So it's a good idea to save on torches by letting your light run down as much as you feel safe letting it run down before you camp. We have to explore 90% of rooms. It's 5, 8, 12, 14 rooms in this dungeon. So I think that means that we'll be able to leave 2 rooms unexplored. So I'm going to leave these ones so that I don't have to backtrack again, and we're just going to go this way. Oh, God. Well, here comes all that stress again. All of the damage. Oof. Ouch. We're just going to all of the damage on this madman as much as possible. Wow, he is really getting wailed on. God, that attack does so much stress. This is kind of the downside of doing this point blank thing, is that it means the first turn, the first highwayman turn in the combat, he won't be able to attack anybody except the front 2 ranks. Ugh, and then he didn't even hit with the point blank shot. That's terrible. Well, do I want to go for the absolution? No, I think this is the time. Wow. Okay, good. He gets to do something right away. I was thinking that he probably was going to lose his turn. So this is a serious knockback ability, and it debuffs them. This is just an attack, and it hits the front 3 ranks. And this is... okay, that's kind of interesting. This hits the first 2 ranks and has a stacking buff for its own damage. So if you just keep raking over and over again, you'll keep dealing lots of damage. I'm going to try to lay a slam on this guy. Move these guys. They're going to screw with our order, too. Bunch of jerks. Alright. Really lay into him. Get a crit. Okay, that's good. Wasn't a crit. We'll totally take it, though. Hit. Ugh. These cultists are slippery. So what do I want to do here? I could do a melee attack that has a small chance of killing her. Or I could put a bleed, try to put a bleed on her. The bleed attack, you can see, is 5% more accurate. Now, let's just gamble on the instant kill. And we got it. Alright, well, this part of the battle has gone swimmingly. We really need to put a heal onto our abomination, though. Ah. Okay, well, a 3-point heal and a 3-point bleed means we didn't actually heal at all. That's disappointing. This will do 5 to 10 damage. Oh, when we go back, we heal, and we stress heal everybody for a small portion of what they lost. I think we're going to go back now for the heal, because he really has gotten quite low, and I don't want him to die. Oh, and then he gets to go again, right? And we get to use... this guy's kind of cool. You can see Stumbling Scratch is a much weaker attack. These guys don't have a good attack from the back rows. So messing with the enemy party order is a way that you can soften the incoming damage. But raw damage dealt is not the only reason that you need to avoid getting attacked by the enemy. Every time the enemy attacks you, it's a chance for a crit, and crits can deal a really frustrating amount of stress damage. And as I keep trying to impress, stress damage is really the worst thing that can happen to you. Aside from having a hero actually die. Okay, I'm not too worried about this. I think we'll get this guy this turn. Okay, 0's pretty bad. Unfortunately, that's a risk that you take. Move this guy back up into melee attack range. Okay, this has a pretty good chance of being a kill. Okay.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Honestly, I think that went pretty well, considering. We're not going to interact with those books. I don't think our stress is in a good enough position that it's worth risking it. I know that books can give you a positive trait from reading them as well. Oh, I forgot to put my guys in the right order. Well, I guess he's just going werewolf right away. How much does this bleed people for? 3? So if we hit her, we're going to deal 4 or 5 points of damage this round, and then if she survives to another round, another 3 points. I think it's better just to hit her with the immediate attack. Yeah, 8 is probably more damage than we would have gotten out of the bleed attack.
Well struck.
Awesome. If you kill someone with a crit, they don't leave a corpse. That's not super relevant here. Let's go werewolf mode. The stress is probably worthwhile as long as we can... Wow. Wow, that attack does a lot of damage. Hold on, this guy's base damage is nuts when he's in beast mode. Yeah, 8 to 16 base damage. For reference, we're looking at like 5 to 10 on our other guy who's really damage focused. 3 to 6 on... yeah. This beast mode dude is pretty useful. Alright, we're going to use our bleeding attack on the cultist. Oof. That was a grievous injury. And the question is, do we want to transform back right now to take advantage of the heal? He transforms back at the end of combat, I think. He'll probably get the heal then. I'm just going to go with Rake. Yep, pretty good. Heals on the beast. Big heals on the beast, no less. Alright. This attack, even considering the fact that it doesn't have the ability to put a bleed on him, it still does more damage than the pistol shot. There's a small chance. Yep, okay, max damage. Okay, yeah, so he still does get the heal.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
Alright, 800 gold, not bad. And we get a scout, nice. A 2-always scout even. That's handy. As your heroes level up, they can get better at scouting, and certain hero classes gain scouting ability more quickly than others. We are not touching those books. Let's just prepare for this fight in a moment. Alright, so one thing I haven't talked about, because we didn't really have a lot of food on the last mission, but we totally have enough to do it here, is that you can just eat food to restore health. So we are going to... Alright. A hero can eat a maximum of 4 units of food before they're too full to consume anymore. And you can reset that by just winning a battle. After you win a battle, they'll be hungry again. Okay, nice. Bone Rabble are by far the least threatening monster in the dungeon. And in this case, obviously there's only 2 of them and they're surprised. No value on that heal, unfortunately. This is a stun. Yeah, but... Alright, we're gonna kill the one in the second slot. And then he's gonna point blank that one. 15 damage. Pretty okay.
This expedition at least promises success.
Alright, so as you can see, a combat in which nothing goes wrong often is stress positive. If you don't take a big hit from a stress attack and you don't take any crits, you often will lose stress. I said stress positive, I meant positive in the colloquial sense, not mathematically positive, obviously. You want things to be stress negative. Okay, this is good. We got a trap coming up. It's extremely likely that the highwayman will successfully disarm it, and when he does, he will get some stress relief. Good stuff. At this point, if we were to finish the dungeon right now, I would say that these two don't even have to get stress relief in town. Their stress is low enough that I'd be comfortable taking them on another mission right away. Which means, you know, this is like at least 2,000 gold right here that we didn't have to spend. So it's really beneficial to end the dungeon with your heroes at low stress levels. Sadly, we are now out of torches. Wow. Okay, surprise. Surprise is good. We're gonna do this thing and try to get the blight on him. Oh, he got a crit. Okay. So when you critically strike somebody with a dot, what it does is it adds 2 rounds to the dot's duration. That's not necessarily terribly useful, unfortunately. If you're playing the game right, your dots rarely are going to tick to their full duration. Alright, so let's just try to kill this guy before he gets to attack at all. Excellent. That's a bummer, of course. But at this point, we really want stress-based attacks to go on to our guys who are already stressed, because we're already going to have to pay for them to de-stress. Like I was saying, I shouldn't say this stuff out loud. They're listening to me, apparently. Like I was saying, ideally, we don't have to de-stress everybody at the end of every mission. Alright, so still slightly stress positive there. If I go beast mode, yeah, it's better to do this than to not. And let's rake these guys. Man, rake seems really powerful. All of his beast mode attacks seem really good. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, it does get him low enough that if we hit him with the hook, he'll die. But obviously, I would really have preferred to avoid this happening. It's just an extra attack we had to take for really unfortunate reasons. So he's already dead. We can focus on doing stuff for our party. I'm going to intentionally attack a corpse so as not to have a chance of killing this guy, because yes, I really wanted our abomination to get a turn before combat ended so that he could get an absolution off. Alright, good. Alright, and now we can kill this guy, now that nobody in the party has a useful skill left anymore.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Okay, I will remember that, Wade. Keys are really useful in the ruins. We got a bunch of keys as loot, though, which means that we're going to leave the ruins without actually expending the key we paid for. Was it 1 key or 2? I don't remember. But that does make me feel a little bit bad, just efficiency-wise. We're going to food him up since he's going to bleed another point here. Yep, eat food. We are not touching these books. Sadly, we're out of torches, so we're going to have to enter this room. Oh, I forgot to swap forward. Oh, well, maybe it's for the best, so that we can, on the first turn, really lay into this madman. Let's do it. Hardcore beast mode. Alright, we're just going to rage the madman, because we... Wow. And of course he gets to attack before we could possibly kill him. You guys are jerks. You're all jerks. Alright, so what I'd really like to do is finish the Madman off with an AoE attack from either the Highwayman or the Occultist, whichever goes next. For efficiency's sake, because then we get the kill and we get to put some damage on somebody else. It's pretty inefficient for us to use the Bounty Hunter to finish this guy off. That said, if I try to do that thing and I end up missing my AoE, I'm going to feel like a real idiot. But this is what we're doing. Actually, you know what? We're going to employ his mark, I think. No, never mind. This collect bounty, we can put the mark status on somebody with mark for death. And the mark status doesn't do anything by itself, but some attacks refer to it for bonuses. And you can see collect bounty does bonus damage versus mark target. But it only does plus 90% damage, which means that we get more damage out of collect bountying twice than we do out of marking and then collecting. We'd have to get a third round of attacks in against the target for marking to be worth doing, and I don't think that that's likely here. So we're just going to lay on the Bone Soldier, because I think we can kill him faster than we can kill the Bone Defender. Alright, I was hoping for a lucky crit there. It would have been cool if we had critted him and not had him leave a corpse, and then we'd be able to grape shot all three of the remaining enemies. As things fell, I think we need to shoot the Bone Courtier instead of going for the grape shot. Oh, but it was not lethal. He survives with 1 HP. That's a real bummer. And then he's going to get to go pretty early next turn. You can see he's got 8 speed. Ooh. Yep, so that's that stun I was talking about. It screws up your party order, and it does non-trivial damage. Wow. So that put him to death's door and put him over the stress limit at the same time. He's in a bad place. Caught. Trapped. Alright, let's draw some blood here. So what about a rake? Are we likely to get a kill with a rake here? There's a pretty good chance that the rake would kill this guy while dealing a significant amount of damage to that guy. We're going to go for it. Okay, we didn't get the kill. And that's disappointing. We really have to try to get him off death's door. Okay. That was a real disappointment. Bry, failing us. I had to look. I couldn't remember his name already. Shoot. He won't actually get an attack this turn because he's stunned. The Bone Courtier is likely to go first with all of his speed. I'd really like to kill this guy this turn before he gets his attack off, especially considering how poorly our Highwayman is doing. But I think we have to try to finish the Courtier. Ooh, that's really bad. So now he's at death's door and he's bleeding. So when his turn starts, he may immediately die. We really have to hope that he doesn't get his next turn until after the Highwayman does. Or the Occultist. And that's exactly what happened. Occultists are pretty fast. You can see he has 8 speed. Come on, non-zero heal. Okay. Alright. There is a penalty for ever having been on death's door. That's a bummer. Rake. Alright, buddy. Oh, he's stressing everybody out with his crazy talk.
Reeling, gasping, taken over the edge.
Ah. Alright, so the different afflictions are not just flavor, they actually do have different meaning. Fearful causes your hero to gibber in a way that's very disconcerting, so it stresses everybody else out all the time. Irrational apparently means that the hero may take turns on their own. Probably fearful also has your hero take turns on their own, and they like use move backward or something occasionally. There are a lot of negative effects. let's conclude this combat here. Well, at least we're still getting paid, right?
Victory.
That's another 1,000 gold there. Some crests. That's an okay trinket for the leper, who I think is one of the weaker classes in the game, unfortunately. Irrational, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes when your heroes have become afflicted, they will not like to take commands, or they will refuse commands used by other heroes on them. Like with Irrational, I know there's a chance for your hero to refuse healing from other party members. Let's keep getting paid, though. Okay, not bad. You can see that we are full on inventory now. But we're almost done with the quest. Alright, once we step foot in this room, we'll be able to leave immediately. Yes, I know how to disarm a trap. Are you guys good at trap disarming? 80%. And you have much lower. Alright. I didn't want to waste the stress relief on this guy since we're going to have to de-stress him anyway, and he's already freaked out. That 8 points could totally be the difference between the bounty hunter getting afflicted and not getting afflicted. A confession booth. I don't know what the item is. How about medicinal herbs? Probably not, but we're not going to need both of these. Yeah, I kind of figured. Okay. Nope. Stressed him out even more. You do not want to get to 200 stress. At 200 stress, the hero has a heart attack. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. Overall, pretty successful. I think we came out significantly gold positive on that. And
Walls of our ancestry are beginning to feel familiar.
And we got this cudgel, which is really boss. And Houndmaster is probably my favorite class. So I'm glad to have a good item for a Houndmaster once we eventually get one. Oh, we made out pretty well in the heirlooms too, jeez. Different buildings need different materials to be upgraded, but every building uses crests, so it's important to get big stacks of crests. Yeah, look at this, like 11,000 gold in total. Totally worth de-stressing a couple of heroes. Nice. That's a really positive trait. Also a really positive trait. I'm surprised at how little negativity was generated here after all the freakouts and the screaming and the gibbering and that thing about the flower. I don't know, the guy's been playing Undertale or something. Well, okay, you only have one melee skill and you will not be equipping it, and Shocker is a real bummer. But whatever. Honestly, I think that group of traits was really positive.
I feel an insistent gnawing in the back of my mind. It was a yearning, a thirst for discovery that could be neither numbed nor sated.
Indeed. Alright, so we can see here the report of what happened in town while we were gone. Dismas got pretty drunk, recovered only 45 stress, sadly. The stress-reducing buildings get a lot more powerful as you upgrade them. Parthenai recovered 69 stress. That's pretty good. Sadly, she witnessed some unsavory activities and will not be praying again. On the plus side, that means I won't accidentally take up the prayer slot in the Abbey with her again. So that's kind of good. Yeah, Fitzlin, you tell him. Alright, so now we've got the ability to upgrade our heroes more directly. So let's,
We will face ever greater threats. Our soldiers must be ready.
So you can see here we can unlock the locked skills that our hero came with. And if we upgrade the guild, it will allow us to upgrade our skills to higher levels. This is the primary way that you gain accuracy on skills. Rarely will a skill gain damage from being upgraded, though. If you want to upgrade somebody's damage, you gotta take them to the blacksmith.
The bellows blast once again. The forge stands ready to make weapons of war.
The The blacksmith does actually nothing until you have upgraded it some. But upgrading weapons will increase your damage and crit chance and speed. And upgrading armor will increase your dodge and HP. You know, I think some classes get speed from armor, I'm pretty sure, instead of from their weapon. But these upgrades are really important. These gear upgrades. Armor upgrades in particular, because upgrading dodge and base HP at the same time really increases your survivability from a lot. From a lot? By a lot. It increases it by a lot. Alright, we have enough resources now to upgrade our hero barracks just the one time, but it's enough for us to take all 4 of these new adventurers.
A mighty sword arm anchored by holy purpose. A zealous warrior.
Okay, so let's sort by class real quick. You can see we've got 3 highwaymen. The game really likes to give you highwaymen in the early game, apparently. A new crusader. I like crusaders a lot. A new vestal. Vestals are great. And we got a leper. These guys kind of suck, honestly. It's not that their skills are bad, although they do have a number of purely defensive skills, and really, you don't want to do purely defensive things in this game most of the time. Because nothing is more important than reducing the number of times the enemy gets to hit you in combat. That's the best way to reduce incoming stress. So, like, this kind of stuff is really just not useful. And then the other thing, wow, this guy only came with 1 of his attacks unlocked. That's a real bummer. The other thing is, look at that. Base accuracy, 65%. The leper has really good base damage, offset by really poor accuracy. And while that means that mathematically, over an infinite number of attacks, his DPS is basically in line with everybody else's, it means he's going to miss attacks at really important times, and you're going to suffer for it. It's hard to make the case that that guy's useful when you could just bring like a crusader or something in his place. Alright, well, we need to de-stress our people some here. We got a lot of stress in this party. Do any of these guys have traits that make them... He can't pray or flagellate, but he can do all of the other stuff. Can we sort by stress? Here we go. Okay, so for sure, Fitzalan and Harriet. Right, Harriet won't pray. Can we afford to upgrade this? Yes, increase the stress recovery, reduce the cost.
For some, a tonic against the bloodshed.
Great, meditate, calm down, good stuff. Oh, that's right, Reynald needs to pray. I did this for a reason. He has a little... Hold on a second. What is the meaning of this little thingy on the image? You can see that it's not something that is part of the Crusader art, because the other Crusader doesn't have it. And I don't think it's something that existed in the game before the patch, because I've never seen it. I don't know what that means. Interesting. Alright, let's go to the tavern. We can upgrade the tavern facilities a little bit. Harriet, you want to get real drunk? Let's get you, like, really drunk.
A game of chance and companionship. The rush of life.
So you can see we've run ourselves almost entirely out of crests again. That's going to keep happening for a while. Mental, you really have too much stress. Bry, you really have too much stress. The different activities have different base costs, and it's really a bummer to have to use the brothel. Yeah, see, he's a real sweetheart. He just wants a cuddle and a chat. Okay, so that was a lot of money. We used all of the money that we gained from that mission, really. Upgrading things and... not upgrading things, but healing people. Wow, keep it down, Bri. That shit's private. But we got rid of some stress that's left over from earlier missions, and also we picked up trinkets. So let's have a look here. So that trinket will sell for 1,100 gold. Pretty good. Like I said, I don't have a lot of use for these narrow bonus trinkets. These, on the other hand, these are all pretty fine. Okay. Well, a successful mission, if not, an overwhelming success. And the continued expansion of our town. Next time, we'll embark on a mission into the Weald. This might even be a Celtic word and be pronounced like Voiled or something crazy. I don't know. I'll look it up and get back to you next time on Darkest Dungeon.